Let me ask you something strange. What if the reason you're not building wealth has nothing to do with your income, your job, or the economy, and everything to do with the fact that your brain is literally working against you? Not metaphorically, not as a motivational speech. I mean, your actual brain, the hardware inside your skull, is making financial decisions that feel completely rational in the moment and are slowly destroying your financial future. Here's what's wild. The people who figured this out didn't read more finance books. They didn't get a raise. They just learned how their own mind was sabotaging them, and once they saw it, they couldn't unsee it. So today we're going to talk about why your brain wants you to be poor, the psychological traps keeping millions of people broke, and most importantly, how to start fighting back. Picture this. It's Friday evening. You just got paid. You check your bank account, and for one beautiful moment, it feels like you actually have money. You tell yourself, okay, this month I'm going to save. This month is different. Then Saturday happens. Your friends are going out. There's a sale on something you've been watching for weeks. You convince yourself you deserve a treat. You order takeout instead of cooking. You subscribe to that app you'll use twice. You book the trip because, well, you only live once. And by Wednesday, you're back to checking your account balance like it owes you an apology. Sound familiar? Here's the thing. Most people blame this on discipline. They think they're lazy, irresponsible, or just bad with money. The personal finance world loves to say things like, just stop buying coffee or track every expense, as if the problem is a spreadsheet problem. But it's not. The problem is much older than coffee. It's much deeper than budgets. The problem is that your brain was built for a world that no longer exists, and it's using ancient survival instincts to make modern financial decisions. And those instincts, they're almost perfectly designed to keep you broke. Let's go back. Way back. Imagine you're a human living 50,000 years ago. Life is simple but brutal. There's no grocery store, no savings account, no salary. Just survival, day by day. In that world, one rule kept you alive. Consume now, because later might never come. If you found food, you ate it immediately. Because leaving it meant a predator might get it, it might rot, or you might not survive long enough to come back for it. Saving resources was a risk. Spending them immediately was survival. Your brain learned that lesson so deeply it wired it in as instinct. Fast forward 50,000 years. The environment changed. Banks exist. Salaries exist. Compound interest exists. But your brain didn't get the update. It's still running the same ancient software. And that software has one loud, constant message. Spend now, enjoy now, because the future is uncertain. Psychologists have a name for this. They call it present bias. It means your brain naturally values things available right now much more than things available in the future, even when the future option is objectively better. Here's a simple example. If I offered you $100 today or $150 in 3 months, most people take the $100 today. That's a 50% return in 90 days, by the way, which is an insane investment return. But the brain doesn't see it that way. It just knows now is real, later is a maybe. And that one bias alone is responsible for more financial destruction than any stock market crash in history. But present bias is just the beginning. Let's talk about something called loss aversion. In the 1970s, 2 psychologists named Kahneman and Tversky discovered something that completely changed how we understand human decision-making. They found that the pain of losing something feels roughly twice as powerful as the pleasure of gaining the same thing. In plain language, losing $100 hurts about twice as much as gaining $100 feels good. Think about what that does to investing. Imagine you put money into an index fund. For a few months, it grows. You feel okay, a little pleased. Then the market drops and you're down 15%. Suddenly, it's all you can think about. You check it constantly. You feel sick. And eventually you sell, locking in the loss, just to make that uncomfortable feeling stop. The market recovers 6 months later. But you're out, and your loss aversion just cost you thousands. This is why people keep money sitting in savings accounts earning almost nothing, while inflation slowly eats it alive. Putting it in the market feels risky. Keeping it in the bank feels safe, even though mathematically the bank account is the riskier long-term choice. Your brain can't process that because it's too focused on avoiding the immediate discomfort of potential loss. Loss aversion doesn't just affect investing. It keeps people in bad jobs because the fear of losing their salary outweighs the potential gain of something better. It keeps people from starting businesses, from negotiating raises, from making moves. The fear of losing what you have is stronger than the desire to get what you want. Now let's add one more layer, and this one is probably the most dangerous. It's called lifestyle inflation, and your brain absolutely loves it. Here's how it works. You get a raise. Wonderful. A logical brain would take that extra money and save or invest it, since you were already living fine without it. But what actually happens? The expenses grow to meet the income. Bigger apartment, better car, more subscriptions, nicer restaurants, and within 6 months, you're just as financially tight as before, just at a higher price point. This isn't random, it's a psychological phenomenon called hedonic adaptation. Your brain adapts to new levels of comfort incredibly quickly and resets its baseline. What felt like a luxury last year becomes a necessity this year, and you find yourself needing more to feel the same. This is why lottery winners so often end up broke within a few years. The money arrived, but the psychology didn't change, and a bigger lifestyle just created bigger problems. Lifestyle inflation is the reason people earn double what they made 5 years ago and still feel like they're barely making it. The hedonic treadmill keeps running, and you keep running on it, spending more, saving the same percentage of nothing, and wondering why wealth never arrives. So here's the deeper idea I want you to sit with. Wealth is almost entirely a behavioral game, not an income game, not an intelligence game, a behavioral game. There are people earning $40,000 a year who are quietly building wealth, saving consistently, investing a small percentage every month, avoiding lifestyle inflation. And there are people earning $200,000 a year who are genuinely one missed paycheck away from financial crisis because their brain's ancient wiring has scaled up with their income. The financial system, by the way, is very good at exploiting these biases. Credit cards are designed around present bias. Spend now, pay later. Casinos are engineered around loss aversion. You keep playing to recover what you lost. Marketing exists almost entirely to trigger the emotional reward circuits in your brain before your rational mind catches up. The entire consumer economy is built on the gap between your ancient brain and your modern wallet. And the people who understand this, the ones building real wealth, they're not smarter than you. They just learned to recognize when their brain was driving them somewhere they didn't want to go. There's a concept Warren Buffett talks about that ties this all together. He calls it the inner scorecard versus the outer scorecard. Most people live by the outer scorecard, measuring their success by what others can see. The car, the house, the vacation photos, the brand on the sneakers. The outer scorecard keeps you spending to signal status to people you might not even like. The inner scorecard is different. It's about where you actually stand financially, what you own, what you owe, what your money is doing while you sleep. It's invisible to everyone else, and it's the only scorecard that actually matters for your future. Wealth is what you don't see. It's the investment account nobody knows about. It's the decision to not buy the thing you could technically afford. The author Morgan Housel puts it perfectly. Spending money to show people how much money you have is the fastest way to have less money. So how do you actually fight a brain that evolved over 50,000 years? You don't fight it directly, because you'll lose. Instead, you design systems that work with human psychology rather than against it. First, automate before you can spend it. The moment your salary hits, have a fixed amount move automatically to a savings or investment account. Don't give your present-biased brain a choice. When the money never hits your spending account, you don't miss it. This is the single most powerful personal finance move most people never make. Second, make the future feel real. Your brain discounts the future because it feels abstract, so make it concrete. Write down a specific number. What does your life look like at 45, 55, 65, depending on the financial choices you make this year? Give the future a face. Give it stakes. When the future feels real, present bias loses some of its grip. Third, audit your lifestyle inflation honestly. Look at what you're spending today versus 2 years ago. Did your income grow? Did your savings rate grow at the same pace? If your income doubled and your savings stayed flat, lifestyle inflation ate the difference. The question isn't how much you earn, it's what percentage of that you actually keep. And fourth, learn to recognize the emotional states that lead to bad financial decisions. boredom spending, stress spending, celebration spending, social pressure spending. These are all moments where emotion hijacks the financial decision before logic gets a chance to vote. Building even a 24-hour waiting rule before any non-essential purchase above a certain amount can save you thousands a year. Here's where I'll leave you. Your brain is not your enemy. It kept your ancestors alive through conditions we can't imagine. It's incredibly powerful, but it's running an old program in a new world. And financial survival today looks nothing like physical survival thousands of years ago. The people building wealth aren't people who never feel the pull of present bias or loss aversion or lifestyle inflation. They feel it too. They're just the people who learned to pause, recognize the pattern, and ask, is this my brain talking? Or is this actually a good decision? That pause, that tiny moment of awareness, that is where financial lives are changed, not in the big dramatic moments, not in the perfect investment or the lucky break. In 1,000 small decisions made slightly differently, over a long enough period of time. The question isn't whether your brain wants you to be poor. We've established that it kind of does. The question is, are you going to let it win? Think about that. And if this made something click for you, share it with someone who needs to hear it.